Well, taxes could be your largest expense in retirement, and yet for pre-retirees, tax planning often fails to be top of mind in that retirement planning process. A potential misstep that could come at a price. We are so excited to be joined by Michigan's retirement coach, Mike Douglas. Mike is the president of LifePlan Financial Design. It's a local area firm that focuses on preparing people for a successful retirement. Mike is also a popular podcast host, and here talking about all things tax. Mike, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
All right, so when should people and what should people be doing if they are at retirement or just heading toward retirement when thinking about taxes?
Well, all of us live in this world where we have to play by a bunch of tax rules that we don't get to make, right? But they affect our everyday lives. It's rules someone else sets that we have to live by. So when you're starting to walk into retirement, you really need to be aware of how the rules change, because there are certain taxes that only hit retirees. There are certain taxes that only affect you if you're taking Social Security. And oftentimes we don't realize that where I pull my money out for my vacation or my kitchen remodel or different things, that affects whether or not my Social Security gets taxed or if my Medicare premiums go up. So there's a lot of these different rules, and once you get into retirement, the tangled web of taxes gets a little tighter, and there's things we have to be aware of, and unfortunately it's just a thing that isn't covered very often.
Yeah, talk about that. You know, how often are these things overlooked, and how often do people come to you and there's that crazy web that you have to kind of dig through?
Yeah, well, we know there's two certainties in life, right? And they're
Right.
death and taxes. And it's the two things people don't want to talk about, right? They don't want to do an estate plan and they don't want to talk about taxes. But yet, at the end of the day, we work for so many years and we put so much of our life into our career, into our savings, just to one day not deal with the thing that would help keep it inside our family, right? So there's rules we have to play by. There's taxes we have to pay. We just don't want to overpay, and I just don't want to have, because I didn't want to deal with something, my family doesn't get all the money that we earned and saved. So we like to think of the money you earn in terms of years and hours you spent. Are you willing to give up 3 years of your work life because you didn't want to deal with taxes? Well, no, none of us are. So we need to sit down and talk about it and plan for it proactively. But to answer your question, most people overlook it, don't want to talk about it. But those are the things, most things in life, if it's the hardest things you don't want to deal with it, it's probably the thing you have to deal with the most.
Exactly, right. It's the thing you want to bury your head in the sand, but it is the worst thing to do in this situation. Because, let's talk about what someone can save and what someone can get back if they are appropriately tackling these tax issues.
Yeah, there's certain times in life when it makes sense to pay more in taxes. That's not popular, but it's a reality. Right now, we're in a very unique situation. In 2024 and 2025, as the law states now, it's one of the lowest tax times in our country's history. Since 1916, it's the second lowest tax time. So it makes sense sometimes to pay more taxes this year and next year before the tax laws potentially change in 26. They're already set to go up a little bit. So if we know that the rules are going to change, we know they're going to get more expensive in 2 years, we should consider paying some more taxes now. Now, it has to come with a detailed strategy that understands the long-term implications. But most of the time, small incremental changes over the course of a 20-year retirement makes a really, really big difference. If you can save an extra 2 or 3% per year in taxes with good strategies over the course of your life, that's a lot more money that you're either having for yourself or leaving for your family and keeping out of Uncle Sam's hands.
Yeah, it really all does add up over time. Now, I think a big misconception too, people think, you have to have a ton of money and be very, very wealthy to be concerned about things like this, but that's not necessarily true.
No, we all pay taxes, and we all don't want to overpay in taxes, right? If you feel like you just want to just generate and donate more money to the IRS, well then, please don't call, right? But
don't call me.
For those who want to just keep everything we've earned with our family as much as we can. I don't want to get audited. I don't want to get caught by the IRS. I'm not trying to break any rules. But if the more I know the rules, I can play by the rules and win within the rules. So that's the whole idea. If we can proactively plan, if we can build plans that make sense for the family, because it doesn't make sense for everybody. But if you're a business owner, there are certain business designations and corporations you should have set up to protect yourself. And we do that with our tax company. There are certain things you should be doing to proactively move. Even with my kids, I talk all the time, you guys may want to start a small LLC soon. So as you get into college, you can start hiding money, or probably not the right term, but you can start using tax deductions. So there's great strategies inside your life that you can use. as long as you're talking to a good tax advisor. And it's just part of a good plan.
Yeah, and you know all the rules. So let's talk about some of the missteps that people make that you see a lot of, and how you can help solve these problems.
I think the biggest misstep is letting taxes happen to you rather than going after them, right? They're going to happen, but we can proactive or reactive. Like we said, we don't want to bury our heads in the sand. We want to take control of our life in every way possible. There's so many things we can't control, right? But you have to control the things you can and mitigate the rest. I have to mitigate the effect taxes have on my life. I have to minimize how much they change my plans. If I'm going on a cruise or a vacation, or we're remodeling the kitchen or paying for college for my kids, I'm not going to let the government dictate those rules to me. As much as I can, we're keeping control inside our family. So we work so hard for all these years, just don't give away control at the last second.
Absolutely. And the best way to get control, talk to this guy right here, because he knows the rules and he will help you stay in line and keep all of your money. Mike, thank you so much for your time. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
And if you would like some help with that, you want to make sure your retirement plan takes taxes into account, Mike has a great offer right now. For the first 5 callers that have saved $500,000 or more, he's offering a complimentary retirement roadmap just for you. Mike and his team will sit down with you and personally provide you with a roadmap, analyzing where you are right now and discuss your best steps to really get ready for a successful retirement. It's like a game plan to get you where you need to be. The number to call is on your screen at 616-253-6162. Again, that number is 616-253-6162.